All right, so probably the best start before an episode ever. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, getting a ride back from our friend Ben, and logically my neighborhood's a big loop. So you would think that he would be going to be able to get out very easily, right? That's simple.
Uh-huh.
But you see, there's we're going one way in the loop, and we just see this other car coming around, and I'm like, who's this car? My headlights shine on them. It's Ben trying to get out of my neighborhood, which is just a giant loop.
It just did a massive circle. And first of all, Ben's not that great with directions anyways.
Really bad.
He gets lost pretty easily. So, he was lost on the way here, and on the way back, we had to direct him again. But then he made his way back to this house, which he couldn't find in the first place, and we were proud of him. We were like, you know what, Ben, you did good.
He got here.
You learned your way back in the end. And that was right as we left his car. And then, 30 seconds later, we see him zooming past, going straight into a cul-de-sac, because he has no idea where he is, doing a 360 around this neighborhood.
I'm kind of want to just, I want to go around, completely to see if he actually figured out, or...
I think we just need to leave him now.
Yeah.
He's using Pokemon Go to find his way out.
Speaking of Pokemon Go...
No.
Oh.
We're not talking about Pokemon Go. But what we can talk about is...
Welcome to Cast Pod, episode... 6?
I think it's 6.
Probably 6.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Welcome to Cast Pod, episode 6. I'm Calum.
I'm Kevin. And today, with that great story to start off... our great story to start us off, we're going to learn how to speak English. After that, we're going to talk about traveling stories because of people like Ben.
Traveling stories. So, do you have any traveling stories off the top of your head that you would like to share with the class?
Besides the fact that on the way to my house, Ben went through... the light was yellow, he crossed the white line, then it turned red, which isn't bad at all. So,
I mean, it turned red pretty much right as he was crossing the line, though.
Yeah,
it was...
I still think he was going to be safe no matter what.
Yeah.
Anyway, as we did that, a police officer passed right by us, and he it looked like he made a turnaround or something.
Oh, well, the thing was, we passed him because he was just, about 100 feet down past the intersection. So he could clearly see that we ran this red light, and he just stopped on the road. Not for the red light, literally in the middle of the road, he just stopped.
Yeah.
And then went around the car in front of him and turned off. So we're like, alright, he's totally following us.
It's like, oops.
Yep. So then, obviously, we turned off onto a side road to be like, not getting caught today.
Not today, coppers.
So then we go down this road, eventually make it back to the house we were aiming for. And then after we just leave that house, we go down the road a little bit, and just around the corner, we see another cop car.
Pulling over a car that honestly looked kind of similar to Ben's.
It did. So, could have been the same, could have been a coincidence. Either way, it was hilarious.
Yeah. And Ben was nervous.
Mm-hmm.
So that reminds me of another story.
Go on.
It was earlier this year, and us and a couple of our friends are going bowling, right?
Yep.
Of course, you're riding shotgun.
Yes.
Weather kind of crappy, but that's unrelated for this part of the story.
Yeah, I like how you're setting the scene right now.
I want them to picture in their, 5, different people minds.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's only really 5 people that listen to us.
I can only think of 3, so I like how you're giving us some credit.
Yeah. I look at the views every hour on the hour.
Oh my god.
But, so, I'm behind a bus,
right.
And it's pretty much the same exact scenario. I crossed the white line, so I'm fine, and the light turns red. But instead of seeing a police officer, I hear from the back seat our one friend, Abby.
Another shout out.
Yes, she texts us a play-by-play each time. It's, meh. Anyway, she's like, "You're gonna get a ticket." I'm like, and then she basically was convinced that since I went through the intersection, even though I was past the point of basically no return,
Mm-hmm.
she's convinced I was gonna get a ticket. And I'm like, I've done this plenty of times before. I'm not gonna get a ticket. And by the way, Abby, it's August 5th, 6th.
You're dating the episode.
So what? It's gonna be released soon anyway.
Still.
But I still have not gotten a ticket for something that happened months ago.
That's surprising.
Yes.
You know, I've heard that police officers are rather persistent. So.
Yeah, so I guess I didn't get a ticket-worthy offense.
All right.
Squeaky clean driving record.
Now, how about that other time when we were driving with a similar group of people, and you made a turn from an intersection into where were we going?
We were going bowling.
Was it bowling again?
Same. I'm pretty sure it was the same trip.
Was it actually? Because that's amazing.
No, different bowling trip, but still bowling.
Okay.
Because that was with the one where we had to wait a while,
Mhm.
and then we was just like,
Yeah. So, what happened there?
Somebody was driving a certain van that we recorded,
Kevin's car.
and they didn't see how there was there was like a divider thing.
Yeah,
going
concrete
through.
divider. It wasn't raised too much. It was like one of those like lower down ones, but it definitely had a metal signpost on it as well.
It had a metal signpost, but no sign.
Mhm.
And someone might have not seen it, so they almost drove into it.
Might have aimed right for it as they were turning their car.
Maybe a little. Ended up becoming British and driving on the wrong side of the road. And everyone was fine. A little butthurt, but fine.
I would describe the feeling not butthurt, but more terrified for their lives because they thought they were gonna crash into raised concrete as well as a metal signpost
Nonsense.
in an intersection.
We were perfectly fine.
You had no idea it was in front of you.
I had no idea it was in front of me.
And literally 3 people in the car had to go, Kevin, Kevin, Kevin. And then you're like, oh. And then you spun the wheel really fast.
Yeah. That happened.
Yeah. Well, that was good. Good stories. Good almost crashing stories.
I mean, we have other non-crashing stories.
That are as interesting.
One of us involves us driving at spandex.
I still don't remember that time, though.
See, I can't guarantee, like,
Are you
as
sure
I've
it
told
wasn't
you,
a dream?
I'm positive it
Because
wasn't
I
a
dream
dream.
in spandex a lot. That's a story
Wait,
for a
hold on.
different day. Hold on.
No, I want to go on this quickly.
Go.
Do you dream of you in spandex, or are you wearing spandex in your dreaming?
Story for a different day. Go on.
All right. If we
Yes.
weren't in spandex, we at least had our shirts off. Because
I mean, I believe it. I just
Yeah.
don't remember it.
I'm I'm not 100% sure, but I know we at least had our shirts off.
Okay.
Anyway, Kevin, Calum, and company went to trampoline park. Is that what you would call it?
Yeah.
And, of course, jumping for an hour or two, you get really sweaty.
Oh, we were. Okay. All right. I remember I took my pants off. I remember that. That sounds strange.
It sounded so weird. Anyway.
Like, oh, yeah, took my pants off at the trampoline
Yeah.
park. Right. All right, but to be fair, most people weren't wearing pants. And that
True.
also sounds weird. But hold on. You're not giving me time. Like, I mean, like, all right, so girls wear spandex shorts, right? That's a common
Yoga
thing.
pants, stuff like that.
Well, no, but like not even yoga pants. It's like literally like it's like compression shorts.
Yeah.
Like they just wear them on the outside. Guys can't do that because of anatomy and also like sex offense laws.
Yeah.
But like
and
yeah,
I'm going to
so-
be honest, some guys don't have the nicest looking butts, so it's kind of weird.
it's true. Like yeah. But I'm going to ignore that. And like, so most girls who are at this trampoline park were wearing like the spandex shorts because they're going to be jumping around. It's going to be hot. It's like working out, but also like, you know, you got to be in shorts.
That, and it was like kind of cold, so if they wore jeans, probably would rip.
Yes. So it was like, they wore those. So Kevin and I also wore compression shorts, but it was underneath shorts, so it was okay. We had like basketball shorts on over top or whatever.
We were fine.
So yeah, so afterwards, because I'm remembering this now, it was like, dang, it's hot. So obviously, took our shorts off.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the logic was, as we were walking to the car, it's like, man, I'm really sweaty. And it's like, yeah, it's like, I'll take my shirt off. And then it's like, yeah. And then it's just like, maybe I'll just drive home in compression shorts. And it's like, I'll do it too. And I'm like, but you can't drive too. Because there's only one driver. Anyway, moral of the story.
That argument sounds like it would happen.
Me and Calum, and this isn't just me and Calum in the car alone. Like, there
are other people.
I'm trying to count out,
He's
like,
counting
imagine
right
the
now.
seats, like,
Give
who
him a
would be
few
there.
minutes.
It's like, all right. Like, there was, like, 4 other people in the car with us.
That's impressive. I thought I was going to have to say, we'll wait until next episode when Kevin finishes counting to tell us what happened.
I slightly pre-planned it out.
Okay,
But yeah.
I'm proud of you.
And of those 4 people, 3 were girls, 1 was a guy, and we were super sweaty. So me and Calum, it's usually, when we're going places, me driving, Calum shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
That happens 90% of the time, I would say.
Also, I just want to add, there were no complaints. So, yeah.
Well,
It was fine. It was accepted.
no complaints given to us directly.
That is true. But still, nobody was like, ew. It was just kind of like, all right.
Yeah,
So,
they're just like, it's Calum and Kevin.
We were justified in our pantslessness.
So we got super sweaty and pretty much just drove home in spandex in the front seat of my car.
Yeah.
It hit my head when I was adjusting my position.
I saw that. I also heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a fan of spandex, like underwear, compression shorts type
They're
things.
really comfortable.
They really are. I mean, you didn't have any until like last year, right?
No, I didn't, like, because I wear shorts year round.
Yeah.
But it's like my legs basically from like a couple inches above the knee to about ankles. Perfectly fine in pretty much all weather. I think my personal lowest for like wearing shorts was like in snow. I think it was like -15 without wind chill.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like my personal lowest for wearing shorts. So I'm like, nice. But my problem was, a lot of the shorts I own are basketball shorts.
Right.
And when it was a really windy day, the wind would just like basically tear right through my shorts. Like, I would feel that.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't have like super thick boxers because I don't even know if they make those.
I don't think those exist, but yeah.
So it kind of made my butt chilly.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out what would I be able to wear that would keep my butt warm, but I could still wear shorts.
I mean, it was also for sports, though.
True. And our one roommate, I mean, you might have suggested this. I don't remember paying attention to you much, but our one roommate, Logan, suggested compression shorts.
Yeah. I mean, I've already had a couple pairs, so
So you were fine.
I might have also suggested they were a good idea, because they're good. I really like them.
Mm-hmm. And I was just like, you know what, Logan? I will.
Name drop.
I did. Twice.
Yeah, you're really good at just, like, calling people out.
Yeah.
But, on that topic, I am not a big fan of boxers in general. I am more of a briefs person.
Okay.
What is your opinion? Like, what is your take on underwear?
You want to know my honest opinion on underwear?
Yes.
I'm not 100% sure what boxers, briefs, and boxer briefs are.
Okay, so I might be confused here. I might not be an expert on underwear, and underwear experts in the comments can call me out. There will be none. But from what I have learned through my many years of being a male, boxers are the really baggy underwear.
Okay.
Briefs are like kind of tight. They're like more stretchy. They're not like loose and whatever. They have like kind of, because I'm pretty sure I'm wearing briefs right now. It's like kind of elastic around the bottom of the legs too. While like boxers are just elastic around the waist. Mm-hmm. So like briefs are smaller, and then they're like more form-fitting. Not quite compression short, like but elastic and form-fitting.
I'm picking up what you're putting.
It's like an in-between of compression shorts and boxers. And I'm pretty sure briefs and boxer briefs are pretty much the same thing. Okay. It might be like maybe boxer briefs are like slightly longer, slightly baggier versions, like an in-between. But still, that's what I know. I pretty much exclusively wear briefs.
Okay. So, for me personally, I just happen to own a lot of pairs of boxers,
Okay.
but it honestly depends on what shorts I'm wearing. Because
Interesting.
sometimes I'll be wearing like super baggy shorts, and it's like, if I'm wearing super baggy shorts, I'll wear just regular boxers, like, no problem there. But if I'm wearing like, if the shorts I'm wearing are like, I've had for a couple years and they're getting like tight on me, I'm just like, like, the baggy shorts really aren't helping out. It's like, I should wear something tighter so it's like, it doesn't ride up on me, because I hate that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it like ride up on me, and then I kind of have to fix it, but like somehow, and then it's a whole ordeal.
Right.
So I would say it depends on the shorts.
Okay. Yeah, see, I pretty much only have briefs because I started out with boxers, and I
Mhm.
remember this. I remember it very clearly for some reason. It
Just
was
thought of a boxer story.
it was like 6th grade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like just going into middle school, and that's when we had locker rooms for the
Yes.
first time. Like public places where guys got changed in front of each other all the time. And like I'll be honest, I wasn't completely comfortable with it at the time. Like I was what, like 11 maybe?
Yeah.
Less than that maybe.
Roughly.
Because I'm younger than most.
Yeah,
So
we're
it
like
was like
the month of the age break.
Yeah.
So
I think I was 13 going into high school. So yeah, I might have been 10 at the time. You're making a weird face
I'm trying
right
to
now.
think of the age. You
Well,
tell your story.
Yeah, I know for a fact I was 13 going into high school.
All right.
But yeah, so I was like 10 or 11, and for the first time I'm in like a large room with a ton of other dudes all getting naked in front of each other. And like not everybody got naked because it was completely unnecessary to get naked, because like you can keep your underwear on, that shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, and that's when I realized I need new underwear because I was still wearing the tighty whities.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I made the shift in like 4th or 5th grade, so
Yeah. No, I still wore them just because like I don't know, I never
you didn't just need new underwear.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Mhm.
like, I've been wearing the same, like, I have the same pairs of underwear, like, from basically middle school sometimes. Like, a lot of them are, I bought more, but, like, still, like, somewhere in my closet, I'm pretty sure I still have those. But, like, anyways, I was still wearing the tighty whities, and I wasn't, like, too embarrassed about it, because I was like, it's underwear, like, who cares?
Yeah.
But, like, you know, I saw other people, like, like, probably 90% of guys in there were wearing boxers or boxer briefs. And then like
And
they
then
were
you're
like,
just like,
there were
this
just
is
yeah,
weird.
there were just like a couple kids who were still wearing the tighty whities, and I was like, this isn't like bad, like I don't really care, but like I don't know, maybe it's time I like try out some other underwear. So I
Mhm.
bought boxers for the first time, and I was like, okay, I mean these are kind of weird because like I'm so used to just like the compactness, the tightness of the tighty whities, and like the boxers were just such a big change.
Yeah.
Because it was like
It's
wearing
basically wearing like,
another pair of shorts.
yeah.
That's how I felt. I was wearing 2 pairs of athletic shorts. So, first day I wear that, we go into gym, I'm wearing them, and I'm like, nice. I'm like fitting in. I got the baggy underwear like all the other guys.
Look at me, I'm hip.
I know, yeah, that's how I felt. And then we go out and we start doing exercises. We do jumping jacks, we do push ups, all these things that I was not prepared to be so loose about. And that is a day I was like, I cannot wear boxers because there was so much looseness and so much like non-control that I was like, nope, I am not comfortable with this. There's way too much freedom going on. And that is when I found briefs. And from that day on, from 6th grade, I have pretty much exclusively worn either briefs or compression shorts. I have 1 pair of boxers, and they have a bunch of U.S. flags on them, and I only wear them on July 4th just to be that guy.
Yeah, I remember that. You just kind of like, look at these underwear, and then you
And
basically gave
I
yourself a
gave 'em-
wedgie.
But they're so baggy, I wasn't even giving myself a wedgie. That's the thing. I basically pulled these because I was showing them off to people on July 4th. I pulled them like nearly up to my chest, and I was not feeling any sort of tightness. That's like, boxers are too baggy. Like I can't do that. it's not a comfortable feeling for
See,
me.
eventually...
Especially think about doing, well, I mean, it probably doesn't matter to you because you wear them, but like jumping jacks and push-ups and things like that, and just like so much looseness that it's like, oh god.
See, I was already like used to it at that point, so it didn't matter too
that's
much.
what I mean, like if you're used to it, but like that was the first time, and I was just like, no.
Like, if we're talking boxer stories, because remember how this one is about traveling.
Yeah, no, I thought, as I was telling these stories, I thought it was funny that we started talking about underwear, and I thought of a great title for this episode.
What is it?
The Brotherhood of the Traveling Compression Shorts.
That's a perfect title.
Right?
You should literally, like,
I
send that in a
I
text
should
to
write
me.
it. Yeah, I think I'm going to text it to you right now.
Yeah.
Cause
actually, I would say write it down and then text me after the episode, because I don't know what that would do after.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I'll just write it down. But anyways, yeah, that's a quality title. But go on with your boxer story.
All right, so
because this is the boxer episode now.
My boxer story, I'm just going to say this. Let's hopefully make this the last story and then get back on the traveling
I mean,
stuff.
I don't think I have any more underwear stories, so you should be safe.
So, when I first started wearing boxers, it was like 4th or 5th grade.
Right.
I had to get an x-ray for something. I don't remember what it was, but I basically had to get, like, not really a full body x-ray, but, like, it was like a torso x-ray.
I recently got an x-ray, too.
Yeah, but that's for your leg.
That's true. But yes, full body x-ray.
But, so, we're like... The doctor's like, put on this gown, change and just, you can wear your underwear underneath it. That's really it. And it's like, okay. And so I'm wearing it. And it's kind of one of those questions that it's just like, you know how it's like you look at an x-ray and you're just always like, what is that?
Right.
So, right around my genital region, basically, because this is my, like, first pair of boxers, basically. And for some reason, I have the ones with the button on the front. The button showed up in the x-ray. So,
I think you had, like, a button lodged in your, like, lower intestine.
So, I thought I swallowed a button.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Yeah. Did they think, like, you ate a button or, like, shoved one up your butt? Because that's amazing.
I guess I'm pretty sure they thought I swallowed a button.
Oh, my God.
But it's also, like, I'm 4th and 5th grade at this point. How would I not know if I swallowed a button at this age?
I have gone to the hospital. I don't know if I should save this for the injury episode, but it sounds like it makes sense. I went to the hospital because I shoved a bead too far up my nose.
I have some beads in my car. You want to reenact it?
No, because I literally had to go to the hospital. And you want to know how they got it out?
How?
All right. So, it sounds strange, but this is literally what they had to do. They had my dad do it because it'd be weird if the doctor did it. He put my a thumb on the other nostril to clog it up, and then blew into my mouth really hard, like mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, so the bead shot out my nostril. Literally, that's how they did it.
That's awesome.
Right?
I like that so much.
I don't remember it at all, but they still remind me to avoid beads at all costs.
So yeah, they thought I ate a button, basically.
That's great.
It was just kind of awkward, because it's like, basically genital level.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what's this button right there? And it's just like, And for some reason, I was embarrassed to say I was wearing boxers with a button on them. So my mom might have said something, and it's just like, he must have swallowed the button or something. And I was just kind of like,
must have swallowed a button.
Like, they said that, and my mom's like, kind of questioning it, and I'm like, yeah, that's what happened. I ate a button. And then, like, on the car ride home, my mom's just like, your boxers have a button on them, don't they? Because she does my laundry. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, so I didn't swallow the button. It's just like, I knew I didn't swallow the button, but I didn't want to say anything.
Why? That's so weird that you wouldn't want... You would rather
I don't know.
You would rather them think that you swallowed a button rather than, I have a button on my boxers.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't want to question the doctor, I guess.
I mean, I understand. Yeah, doctor's always right.
Yeah. We should have we should have a doctor visit episode because I got stories for days.
That also reminded me of
Is it a traveling story? Because we should really start.
No, I'm gonna go traveling because I'm not actually gonna tell this story, but it reminded me of a story in that general region. But I don't think I'm comfortable enough to tell that story yet. So traveling. What are you checking?
I thought my phone blipped like at a message, and I'm like, what was that?
No, I didn't send it yet.
Okay.
I'm saving it.
So
traveling.
This car's starting to get hot, and it reminded me of a different time, going back from the bowling trip where I ran the red light.
Yeah.
I said that weirdly because I'm doing air quotes, and you can't really see the air quotes.
You're still working on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I almost...
One of these days we'll get a camera or something.
I almost did it with the bead story, because I started, like, doing the motions, and then I was like, they can't see it. I need to actually explain it.
Alright. But, same, like, it was actually the reverse trip, like, leaving the bowling alley, and we're leaving, going back, and it's, like, crappy weather out.
Right.
So, it was, like, I had to turn on the frosters, and it was either turn them on, like, hot, like, warm, and have it going, and have the window be cleared in no time flat, or have them be on cold, take forever, and we had Yumi, like the car was filled with people, basically.
Yeah, I remember this.
And it was like super hot for us because we're in the front seats, we're like right at the vents, and it was just like,
so this wasn't the time that we were naked.
No, different time, unfortunately.
Right.
So basically,
because that would be why it was hot.
Yeah.
But anyways.
But we're driving back. It's super hot. And we get back to our school. We get out in the parking lot. And if I remember right, first thing I did was take off my shirt because I was sweating bullets.
You do like to take off your shirt.
I do really like to take off my shirt. Like now.
Almost did it.
Almost did. But anyway, like, the girls that I drove were getting out of the car. And I'm just like, pretty much dying of sweat, and then they're just like, that was a really nice like car ride home. It's like, how are you not dying? And they're just like, it was perfect temperature in there, and I'm like, I hate you.
Yeah.
If it wasn't raining, I would have drove with the windows down.
You do prefer the cold. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a nice little temperature getting super sweaty story that I thought of.
That was nice. I don't really have many temperature getting sweaty stories.
See.
And there was the one time I had heat stroke, but that's about it.
That's the story. That's the story. I was going to say that's the story for another day, but then you said that's about it.
No, I mean, like, it's pretty funny, honestly, like how it happened, but, I mean, does it count as traveling? I did it in Costa Rica, so, like, that's kind of traveling. It's not like traveling, it's more like a vacation story.
Oh, that's for, like, the next episode when we talk about vacations.
Oh, right. All right, I'll save it then.
All right. So,
if I remember.
Traveling stories.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, like, I feel like a lot of my traveling stories will be, like, run-ins I had with the police, or, like, an accident, or just, like... Because most of the time, traveling isn't that interesting. Like, because, when we traveled... We could talk about how we traveled to the Outer Banks that one summer.
That was a great road trip.
That was a lot of fun. And the one, like, the really memorable thing I can remember from that road trip would be when we visited a Sonic. And it was the first Sonic that, like, all of us had ever been to, except for, like, one person had been to a Sonic once. So we had no idea how Sonic worked. So we parked up.
Like, we wanted to, like, walk, stretch our legs.
Yeah, we wanted to get out of the car. We didn't really realize that Sonic is a pretty much stay in your car kind of fast food place.
No.
Like at all times, which is, it's kind of weird. It's like
there's a couple tables and stuff underneath. But...
Yeah, but it's like pretty much like 100% like drive-through place.
Yeah.
Which I guess it would explain why all the commercials for Sonic are those two guys in their car.
Yeah, I realize that now. That's gonna be us in like a year.
Yeah, but minus the Sonic because of this story.
So basically, I don't think there's a Sonic near us.
There might be.
Should look
I feel like I know of one. But anyways, so we get out of the car, we want to stretch. We walk up to the restaurant and we're like, how on earth do we order? Because there's no, like, window. There's no entrance into the building. There's just, like, this big screen of, like, menu items. So we didn't think you actually order from there. That was just, like,
No.
what you look at. You know, like, outside of any drive-through place, you have, like, the menu of items. You look off of it, and then you order it at the window or whatever. So, well, first of all, before we even ordered, we're like, all right, a bunch of us have to go to the bathroom. So we all go.
All of us had to
We
go.
all had to go to the bathroom. So we went around the side, and there's just like this little side door, a single bathroom. As soon as the first person opened the door, it is covered in flies. Like,
Gross.
I'm not even kidding. The floor and like the walls was just flies. Like, have you ever seen The Exorcist, that one scene with the pastor or whatever and all the flies? It was literally that. It was disgusting. Like, you
It
walked
was
in
not
there
pretty.
and it was just like a storm of flies. And I don't even know how they all got in there, but it was disgusting. We got out of there, thankfully. We all managed to force our way through the bathroom. And we're like, all right, but how do we order? So two of us, not Kevin and I, but two other people who were with us decided, you know what?
Let's just
Like,
walk in.
Yeah, let's just walk in. So they go up to a door that clearly says employees only on it, but it's where all the people are standing in. So it's like, oh, we must order in there. They just open the door, take like one step in. Suddenly everybody in there working just stops and looks at them. It just stares at them in like, just kind of like this really like they didn't expect it. They had no idea what was going on. And then our two friends had no idea what was going on. It was a hilarious scene.
Yeah, and they're
and
just
then
like, walk back out and it's like...
they before they walked out, they were just like, is this where we order? And everybody inside just goes, no. And they're like, oh. And just close the door and walk out. Oh, it was so funny. But then eventually we figured it out that we have to like order from the giant screen thing, like pay there and everything. And then we sit around and wait for somebody on roller skates to come out and give us our food, and then we get in our car and go. It's just, Sonic is a really weird restaurant.
Yeah. Also, the speakers weren't the best.
Yeah, you couldn't hear what was going on. So
you're just like... It's like, ding. Hi, can I get a number 5 and like a large Coke? It's like... Ding. What?
Yeah.
Ding. Sure?
Yeah, see, it sucked because also I'm remembering how still we didn't know what to do, so we're at that screen and we needed to be directed over the loudspeaker on how to like order food and pay.
Yeah.
So we were just all standing around the screen. They're just like, and like, so I press this button. I'm gonna press this button. And then we just had to just, it was awful. But eventually we got our food. It was
pretty good.
It was okay, yeah. It wasn't bad, which was kind of nice. Because I was like, if the food sucked also, I would just never go back to a Sonic.
Honestly, our whole goal probably, like, I'm pretty sure was just get food that's not awful.
Yeah, which it worked out.
Yeah.
In the long run. But yeah, that's the one, like, really memorable thing I can remember about that road trip. Because most of it was just basically driving and talking about whatever.
I remember I was on vacation with my family before then.
Mm-hmm.
So I went straight from New Hampshire.
Yep.
All the way down to the Outer Banks.
Yep.
In one day.
I like how you pronounce it Shire.
I know. I started that when I was younger. And when I say younger, I mean like high school.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to stop.
It's like where the hobbits live.
Yeah.
New Hampshire.
That's
not sure. Hampshire.
New Hampshire. Anyway, but like, I'm pretty sure it was like over a 24-hour period of time. 18 of those, I was in a car going somewhere.
And then you clogged our stinking toilet.
I'm pretty sure I just told that story.
You did, but I just wanted to bring it up again, how much of a punk you are. You clogged our stinking toilet.
And anyway.
Anyway.
I remember because some of my family was still on vacation. And I remember getting a text from them saying, what state are you in? So logically, I'm like, oh, I know I'm in this state, but I'm going to be a funny guy and just go, solid. states of matter, haha, funny joke. My cousin sends me a text reply back saying, from my grandfather, why? It's like, quit, like, basically it's the equivalent of quit dicking around without really ordering it. It's just like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah.
I mean, what kind of response would you expect?
That one exactly, actually.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other, like, I don't know, it's just like traveling in general is not usually, like, crazy interesting, because it's like, I've been on a lot of, like, plane rides
Yeah.
and car rides and things like that.
Have you ever been on a cruise ship?
I've never been on a cruise.
Neither have I.
That's great. Let's talk about cruise ships for a while, because neither of us have stories on them.
I've just been like, see, I know we've both been on planes.
Yeah,
We've both been on trains. We've both been in cars.
Yeah.
What about boats?
I've been on boats, just not like
Yeah.
a cruise. More like boat tours and things like that. But like, I don't know, I'm trying to think, because like planes, I could talk about, like, like none of
Just
them are
flying.
interesting. Like, you
Yeah.
can talk about flying, you can talk about like how, like, oh, I got delayed one time. Oh, shucks, didn't that suck? Do. Like, what a great story.
Because this kind of works with traveling.
I'd love to hear it, because I also just thought of a story.
It might be the one I'm thinking of.
Probably not.
Okay. But for some reason, ever since I was like 10 or so, because that's roughly the age you can be kind of held accountable for your actions.
Now I think I know what the story is.
I always get stopped by airport security.
I called it. Wow, look at me.
Yeah. Ever since that time, I've never made it once through airport security without being stopped and having my bag searched.
Yep.
Now, I get it, they're trying to do their job and stuff, but the part that pisses me off every time, they'll empty all my stuff from my bags.
Yes.
And it's just like, what's this? Headphones? And it's just like basic stuff like that.
Right.
And they'll just like look at it all and they'll just be like, okay, you can, it's like, and then pass the bin back to me with all my stuff still out. And it's like, all right, enjoy your flight. And it's just like, you literally took everything out of this.
Yep.
I have to spend the next about half hour or so, because I'm really bad at packing, like, neatly and precisely,
Wow.
trying to, like, basically stuff all the crap I've brought just for the airplane ride into this. Why do you hate me?
I never usually take that much onto the plane, so.
See, I usually take, like, not much, but I just had, like, a bunch of random crap for some reason. I guess because I was, like, younger and I was, like, gonna be bored, even though this flight's, like, 2 hours.
Yeah. See, I don't bring, like, I'll put, like, maybe chargers.
Yeah.
And then, like, a book. And then
books, gross.
Food. That's, like, the only thing I bring. Like, my carry-on is always, like, empty when I go. But that does remind me of when we went to Costa Rica, and I actually got stopped. And it was because I went through the...
We got stopped back to back.
Yeah, I went through the, X-ray thing, and I had my hand in my pocket. And I didn't even think about it, because that's just how I walk, obviously. And then they were like, oh, hold on. Take your hand out of your pocket. And I was like, okay. And so I did. And he's like, walk through it again. So I did. Nothing popped up again, because...
Why?
My hand can't conceal bombs. But then he's like, all right, we're gonna... first of all, I walked through the second time. He just stood there for a second. And he's like, you've been randomly selected to be searched. And I was like, there is nothing random about that. And then I get pulled over to the side, and they take these little swabs, and they swab my hand and put it onto a little scanner, and it literally said on the scanner, checking for explosives. And I was like,
yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Meanwhile, if he turned around, he would see me angrily stuffing my stuff back into my bag.
Yeah. See, my stuff didn't get checked, but they swabbed my hands. But I did have my stuff checked the last time I was coming back from England. And they took my bag, and they, took some stuff out. It wasn't as unneatly as you complain about. Like, they put everything back where it was, honestly. But the thing that I was carrying was rocks. I had a bunch of rocks in my bag. But not just normal rocks. Granite. That was a joke referring to a superhero episode. But anyways, no, it was a bunch of fossils.
Was it really granite? I was like, was it really
No,
granite?
because nobody fudging takes granite. It's the most boring rock ever created. But anyways, there were fossils that I had found on the beach, and they were like, there's some very large, almost metallic-like objects in this person's bag. I think we should check it out. And they did, and it was fossils, and he's like, oh, did you find this on the beach? And I was like, actually, yes. And he's like, oh, that's funny, I was at the beach the other day, and I found some of these. And I was like, oh, would you look at that? And we had a splendid time. And it was great.
Because of that, next time I go on a plane, I want to, well,
You want to
because
get a
of the
bag
first,
full of granite?
yes, but it's more about the first part. I want to
Oh,
walk
yeah.
through with one hand in my pocket, see
And
what
see-
happens to me.
They're going to pull you to the side.
I'm
because
gonna
I
get
know
pulled
it
to the
for-
side.
I know it for a
It's
fact.
gonna be okay, because my family's one of those families that arrive 3 hours early, and I will be delaying us from nothing.
Yeah.
And I just be like, hey, Mom, it's like, would you look at this? I'm getting stopped. Again! Just be super passive aggressive.
Nice. I like it.
Now, I thought of this question when you were telling the Costa Rica story.
I would love to hear it.
Which passport did you use?
American.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
you have 2 passports.
I do have 2 passports. An American and an English one.
And I was like, which one would, like, this is the first time I actually thought about it. It's like, which one would you use for, like, South America?
I don't think it really matters. I think it matters more because it's like I'm coming from America, so I would use an American passport. It's like it's basically it does depend where you go. So it's like I said, like when I was coming back from England, like we would like switch our passports. So it's like going there, I'd use an English passport because it's like, oh, you're a local, and then coming back to America, use the American one, like, oh, you're a local. So it's like whatever gets us in the shorter line, basically. Yeah, because there are 2 separate lines. It's like Americans or incoming foreigners. So whichever line has the least amount of people, go into that one.
I just remembered when we were going to Costa Rica.
Yep.
We had to go through like customs or whatever.
Yes.
Basically to get our passport stamped and stuff like that. And I didn't understand the woman, not because she was speaking Spanish, and it's okay because I took 3 years of German in high school.
Right.
She was just speaking super quietly.
Right.
And you probably know from experience that if you're talking quietly to me, I'm not going to be paying attention much.
That is a fact.
If you're talking to me in general, I'm probably not going to be paying attention much.
Also a fact.
But anyway, she's like speaking quietly to me, and I probably looked like I was like in the crowd at a wrestling event that like Steve Austin was there, because I was just going, what?
Yeah.
What? To like everything she said.
Yeah.
And it took me a while, and basically her giving up on me to get through.
I mean, that always sucks when you can't hear the person. You're just like, there's no chance I'm gonna hear you. I'm just gonna keep saying what. Like, I feel bad, but
It's like,
there's clearly a
I
barrier.
really just like, I felt like a jerk, because it's like, I'm coming to a completely different country. I don't speak the language. But if you don't speak loudly enough for me to hear, I'm not going to be able to, like, respond in any language. With the exception of the language of Steve Austin of, what?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
I just remember that. Also, they gave us, like, going home, they gave us, like, a form that's, like, I guess it was, like, a customs form
Yeah,
for
it's a
Americans.
customs form.
And it's just, like, stuff you brought back. I didn't really understand what the purpose of it was and stuff like that.
It's so you give it to customs when it's for any foreign country.
Yeah.
If you're coming back from a foreign country to America, they're going to give you that form to fill out just to hand to customs, so they basically don't have to ask you all the questions once you get to the front desk. But recently, they've kind of gotten rid of them, and I saw this at, I think, Philadelphia Airport, where it's actually, they have these machines where you do it on there. So it's like they still give you the paper that you need to fill out, but then you get to the airport and they're like, oh yeah, you don't need it. It's like, well, why did you give me the paper? But it's literally like this big machine that you fill out like No, I don't have any, like, meat on me. No, I didn't, like, touch any sheep while I was there. And no,
Yeah.
I don't have any explosives. And then it'll take a picture of you. It'll be, like, preparing to take a picture. Takes a picture of your face and, like, prints out this little form that's, like, a temporary, like, customs card.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to the front desk of customs. They read it over, check your face that matches, the picture. And
Next
then
time I
you
have to
go
do
on.
that, I'm gonna be making a face in the camera.
Oh, I'm sure. I was actually because that happened when we were coming back from England. I realized how gross I looked because
Yeah.
I'd been on a plane for so long and it was really hot and it was just like, oh god, I'm in public right now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But no one over a long flight actually like looks great after it.
it was really tough.
Like
'Cause, like,
everyone looks pretty gross.
I can't sleep on a plane either. I can, but it'll be like really short intervals of like
Mm.
maybe like an hour just fading in and out, and I always just end up like hitting my head on the other
Yeah.
chair, or like I slump over and I wake myself up. It's just sleeping, like
It's kind of hard.
sleeping on long travel like anywhere is really difficult. Like
I think it's more the position, like pretty much straight up,
yeah,
because you don't want to be the jerk with their seat fully back.
even though people do it no matter what.
Yeah.
Which is so annoying. It's
I
like,
only do it if I know the person behind me.
yeah, I never do it, but the person in front of me always does it.
Yeah.
Or it's like when I was on a plane one time, and I moved specifically to this row that had no people, so I could stretch out, and then the row behind me had nobody, so I could stretch all the way back. Somebody moved from a different row and sat behind me
Ooh.
after I was already like stretched back, and I'm like, you're gonna make me look like the jerk because you sat behind the seat that's reclined. Like, there were like 3 other empty rows. So annoying.
But yeah, I'm probably like, my family's planning to take a trip to Ireland and Scotland around Christmas time.
Yeah.
And I'm planning to not be sleeping on that flight, even though it's pretty much overnight.
I usually try to, but like, I get so tired on travel,
Yeah.
especially car rides. Long car rides get me always. I don't know why. I get so tired and I have to fall asleep.
I have a 6-hour car ride tomorrow, or actually today now.
I would probably fall asleep
Yeah,
because I can't.
I'm probably gonna
cannot
crash really
handle
hard.
long car rides. They just make me so tired.
I'll start getting bored, then I'll lower the window, stick my head out, wait till my mom yells at me, stick my head back in, and then go back to being bored.
It sounds fun.
But as I was saying with the customs form from
Yes.
a little bit ago, the one we got back from going to Costa Rica, I had two major things about it. One, as you're saying, like, are you bringing back any meats and stuff? Some of the things that they asked if we were bringing back or did in the other country, I was like, why would they ask this? But then I thought on the more lines of, how many times has something happened so they have to ask this now?
A lot.
Yeah, and I'm just like, it's just like such weird things. Like,
I mean, it can spread disease. It can be illegal to take things out of the country or bring things into the country. It's a lot of things. Like,
Yeah,
there's a
it's-
reason for all of it being there.
like there's reasons like that, but some of them are just kind of like super minute and weird, and it's just like,
Well, it's so there are no, like, loopholes.
Yeah.
Because, like, if there's any sort of loophole, people will be like, it doesn't say on your customs form I can't take this, pygmy marmoset under my hat. Which somebody has done.
I remember there was a story about a guy smuggling hummingbirds in his pants.
I've heard about a guy smuggling turtles in his pants. And also had a monkey in his hat.
Is that the same guy?
Yeah.
But the second part about the forum, I was super tired at this point, and I was
Uh-huh.
pretty much just done with the trip. I hit no for every answer because I didn't want to have to explain myself.
I did too, but then one of the questions was, have you worked with any, like, animals while you were there? But, like, and then I was talking to the customs person, and he was like, oh, what were you doing in Costa Rica? And then I told him about this stuff, and one of the things was we worked with sea turtles, so I said,
Oh yeah.
we worked with sea turtles, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, seriously, that's really cool. And, like, he totally didn't even, like, blink. He was just like, oh, that sounds fun. Like, that's awesome. And I was like, yeah, right? And then he let me go. And then I said that because apparently I was taking a while I was like the last person to get out, and it was because I was just having a nice conversation with the dude, and they were just like, "Well, what did you tell him?" I was like, "Oh, I was just talking about the trip, working with sea turtles," and they're like, "What are you doing? Like,
Today, Junior."
you said like on the forum that you didn't work with any animals, and then you're gonna tell me you work with animals?" And I'm like, "Well, it was livestock, and I don't think sea turtles are livestock. I might be confused, but I'm pretty sure there's a difference."
I love the logic there.
I mean, it's true. It said, "Do you work with any animals?" And it said like sheep, cow, horses, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I worked with sea turtles. There is a clear difference between
Yeah.
livestock and sea turtles.
Very much so.
So fight me.
Oh well.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Traveling.
Traveling.
customs. Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of really done with this episode.
We're pretty close. I mean, we got 10 minutes. I can think of more.
Here, you say words. I'll be
Are
over
you
here.
just completely out of ideas?
I'm running. I honestly can't think of anything right now.
I mean, I've traveled to a butt ton of places.
See, I haven't traveled to a butt ton of places.
So, like, I could talk about probably one of my favorite airlines ever is Qantas Airlines. And
Qantas?
Yeah, so like QA, I think it's QANTAS. And that is the airlines to Australia. They are amazing. Like, you know how they have movies and stuff on planes? Their, like, list of shows and movies is just, like, incredible. Like, they had so many options. Like, you play all sorts of games and stuff like that, and, like, nothing compared to that airline. It was so good. The food was even good. Like, food on planes. That's a whole... What's the deal with airline food?
That's
But actually,
exactly
what
it.
actually is the deal with airline food? Because it is garbage. But yeah, like, that was a great one.
I'm going to
And
say that my next trip on an airplane.
You should. You really should. Because, like,
I'm
I
just gonna-
actually, for the first time, this last vacation, was the first time I ever fully ate an airline food meal. Because most of the time I just eat, like, bits and pieces that actually look edible.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first time because I was, like, starving that I actually ate the whole thing. And I think it was mostly because I was really, really hungry.
Yeah.
That
When
it,
you
like,
get to that
tasted half
point
decent.
of hunger where you're just like, I just need food in me now,
Yeah.
your, like, standards of wanting, like, what you want to eat drop super low.
It was like a cheese pasta with, like, mushroom.
Ooh.
And I ate the pasta and the cheese was fine. The mushrooms were like goo.
Ugh.
Like, they were cooked so much and, like, in those little heated packets that are sealed and you see the condensation on top. You open it up and it's just like smell and, like, heat coming out. It was like liquefied mushroom, and I just had to, like, push it to the side of the container, just dig around it because it was so goopy. And it's like,
Yeah.
mushrooms should not be goopy.
No, they really shouldn't.
No. But yeah.
And the fact that you have, like, you eating a good portion of it, I personally think of you as a pretty picky eater.
I am.
Like, I've seen a lot worse.
Yeah.
But I've also seen people like me where I eat a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm fat.
Yes. Extremely. But yeah, I know. It was desperate, and I did it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Australia, fantastic. Airlines. That flight was like 18 hours total,
Oh, yeah, I would
think.
like, on a flight that long, I would totally want to be like, it'd be one of those flights where it's just like, I don't care if I pay more.
Yeah. I mean,
It's going to be better in the long run.
I tried to stay up for that one too, and I think I might have slept for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, that was great. But also, like, it was super long because it was like go from Pennsylvania to California, which is 6 hours. And
Is it really?
then, yeah, it's about 6 hours. And then, like, California to New Zealand, and then New Zealand to Australia. So, very, very long flight.
So, do you do what I would totally do on an airplane if, like, traveling across multiple time zones, like, one way? Where it's like, say you start here on the East Coast and it's midnight here, but you go to California and it's 3 hours behind us.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, even though you're on the plane, like, for 6 hours, like, one of if you look at your phone according to like here time, it'll say like one time,
Right.
and then 3 hours ago will be like the standard time in California.
Right.
Do you ever just go, man, back at this time I was in the sky?
No, I don't do that. Surprisingly. Because
Stupid.
it's real stupid.
Yeah. Just like how I got what? 2 weeks. I'm like 2 weeks older than you.
Yeah.
Just like how I plan for pretty much my birthday to just go, man, I remember what I did when I was your age, and then just tell you what I did 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I can't wait, honestly. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're going to probably be there for most of it anyway.
I really am, because I live with you, unfortunately. But yeah.
Yeah. Sucks to suck.
It really does. And yeah. So, I've traveled a lot, but not a lot of interesting things happened. I saw an armadillo once.
That's pretty cool.
I saw you checking the time. You're like, I can tell, like, from the way you're acting, like, all right, almost time to wrap it up. So I was like, let me think of something that's, like, really insignificant but kind of cool, just to perk back the interest.
I'm more... Sure, I'm checking the time and stuff, too, but it's also because we have to mass record a couple episodes.
It's true.
And the last two went, like, pretty much over by a decent bit over a rough time frame.
they were good.
They were good episodes. I'm not going to argue that. But I'm like, no offense, but we kind of dropped the ball on this one. I thought we would have more travel stories. And like,
I mean, I tried, but you were all like, so this one time, I ran a red light. You said that like 3 times. So you know what? Fudge you.
so boxers.
That was good though.
That was a good part of it. That was probably...
I don't even care if it's
All
not
right.
about traveling. It's still a conversation.
We got a couple minutes. Let's do an episode recap.
Okay. So we said well, you started it with Ben. That's
Oh
why.
my-
That's why it
started
went
off.
down, because you were like, well, "Let me start it as we're walking to my car."
You could probably hear us at like minutes like 5 or so, getting into the car and turning the car on and all that stuff.
Yeah, because you wanted to laugh about Ben for the first couple minutes,
Yeah.
and then
But it was just so funny.
and then
'cause
we had
just...
to recap.
Oh, we should have told the Ben
story.
bike story.
Oh yeah.
It was like, so we're going around like, we're all leaving our one friend's house, and
This is a nice recap,
just...
by the way.
Thank you. I was hoping it would inspire me. And Ben rode his bike there.
I mean, I was gonna talk about the armadillo, but please go on about Ben.
And basically, he got lost in another neighborhood. And me and Calum are kind of just following him along because we had nothing better to do. So we're just like, let's follow Ben.
Yep.
See how long it takes him to realize it's us. And then we're following him, stuff like that. And then we start to realize he's going in a giant circle. And then he comes to a stop sign and gets off his bike. And he's just like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm lost. And it's like, Ben, you went in a loop. And he's like, no. And it's just like, you make it right up there, you're at Nick's house. And he's just like, what?
Yeah.
So armadillos.
So tonight was not the first night that he did a loop. And also, I don't think you mentioned the fact that not only were we following him, we were racing him. Windows down, Pirates of the Caribbean theme blasting, and I was out the window with a goalie lacrosse stick out the window trying to catch him.
We weren't trying to catch him.
I was trying to catch him. I don't know what you were doing.
I was driving.
I was trying to net him in the lacrosse stick, so it was on his helmet for a little bit.
But that had nothing to do with him getting lost.
It had nothing, no travel relation there at all. But yes, one time, I was in Florida. We were driving from Disney World to another location. We were traveling, if you will, and I saw an armadillo on the side of the road, alive.
What?
Yes.
It's pretty amazing.
Thank you.
You don't really see animals on the side of the road alive too much.
Honestly, Florida's a pretty cool place where you see some interesting things. Mm-hmm. And I've done a lot of traveling around there. I traveled on an airboat one time.
Oh, I've been on airboats. Are fun.
Yeah, see, when you brought up boats, I could have told that story, but you were like, it's not a cruise, moving on. So, you know what? And when you're talking about almost crashing cars, I could have talked about the one time I was driving. I wasn't driving.
Why don't you interrupt
My dad
me?
was driving to Canada, and then we got ran off the side of the road by another car. Literally ran off the side of the road. But you're too loud and going for me to butt in and say, I've got a story, because one time I took my pants off in the car. I'm Kevin. Because your stories are too important.
You could just interrupt me.
I could try, but it wouldn't work because you would just keep on going. Because
That's how it really goes.
As we have established, you don't listen to people, especially people that are quieter than you.
True.
So, there you go. I just basically yelled 2 different stories at you.
I know.
In like the last minute of this episode. Thank you for listening to CastPod.
We've wasted enough of your time.
Yeah.
We've wasted a lot of your time.
Yeah. We got more to waste. So, on to the next one.
Hopefully I actually end recording this time.